Welcome back to Local Edition. I'm Brad Palmer, and thank you so much for joining us again. We are joined by Bill Brandt. He's a councilman in Redondo Beach. Tough life in paradise, no doubt. But there are some concerns about Paradise, and that concern focuses upon a power plant that doesn't operate very often. It's called the AES Redondo Beach Power Plant, and there have been discussions to really kickstart it and get it operating in a more serious way. Talk to us about that.
Well, the company AES Corporation based in Arlington, Virginia, have decided to repower this particular power plant. It's old, it's inefficient, and not really used very often. Not an important part of our overall grid in California right now, but they want to become an important part. So we're hoping that they decide to retire and that the state sees the
Now,
need
it's a natural gas plant, so presumably would that be cleaner than other types of plants?
Yeah, it's a natural gas plant now, and they're going to continue to burn natural gas, but it rarely operates at less than 5% of capacity. A new plant, however, will operate at much greater capacity, much more often, and add air pollution to the area.
But could one argue that, look, we need jobs desperately in this community. Unemployment in LA County is well over 12%, in California the same, and so might this be a good time to consider restarting this power plant in some form as a way to generate jobs?
Well, right now it only generates less than 50 jobs.
Right.
And the new power plant is going to be more efficient and even less than that. What will generate jobs if we find alternative uses for that site? So it's going to be decommissioned regardless. There are going to be a lot of jobs to demolish it and look for new uses. And I would say there's going to be more jobs in the area if we find alternative uses for it.
So what you're saying is no matter what, the current plant is going to be taken down. The question is, what is put there? Is it a new plant owned by AES, or is it re-envisioned?
Exactly. It's going to be demolished, and they've said that. The state's going to decide whether it's needed for power. Right now, all their studies indicate that we've got the capacity here to retire a plant. What ends up happening is going to be up to both AES and the state and the residents. So it's a huge opportunity.
Can the residents actually have a say? Could it go to a ballot?
Absolutely.
Or how would it work?
Well, the California Energy Commission and the ISO and the PUC look carefully at what the residents want to have there. Even AES themselves have said they don't want to do anything that the residents don't favor. So I think including Hermosa Beach and Torrance and the surrounding communities, not just Redondo Beach, because it's going to have an impact really for that whole area in the South Bay. So what they want to see there is going to be very important.
So what's the timeline on this?
Well, AES has now said that they're going to apply to the California Energy Commission for a new license in the second quarter of next year. So we have some time to learn and look for alternative uses, work with AES.
I mean, could it be that it be re-envisioned for solar or wind? I mean, what can be done? Because, look, California is creating a lot of green jobs, more than any state in the union. Could it be that it be re-envisioned in that form?
Well, what's interesting is if that power plant is decommissioned, the transmission corridor that goes all the way to the 405 freeway may be available for some other uses. Maybe solar, maybe some other greening project coming out to the coast. But a new big gas-fired power plant in this densely populated area that's going to increase air pollution really isn't the future of energy production in California.
On the streets, are you hearing people talk about this? Is this an issue that is on the minds of the insiders or the residents of the South Bay?
Well, a lot of residents have gotten very active. They're having demonstrations. They're having a demonstration this Saturday, as a matter of fact, at the power plant, probably the 6th or 7th one. They're writing a lot of letters to the editors. They're educating themselves. So there's some residents that are getting very active about this.
Okay, his name is Bill Brandt. He is a councilman in Redondo Beach, Paradise, some say. My name is Brad Palmer, so I want to thank you so much for joining us on Local Edition. We're going to send you back to HLN.